Imagine for a moment that success is not decided by your talent, your education, or even your connections. What if the greatest factor shaping your future is something you carry with you every single day? The invisible atmosphere you create inside yourself. That atmosphere is called your mood. And I want to challenge you with this truth. Your mood is the secret architect of your success. Stay with me until the end of this message, because if you can master your mood, you will discover how to master your future. Your mood is the thermostat of your life. Think about a thermostat in a room. It doesn't just tell you the temperature, it sets the temperature. If the room is too cold, the thermostat calls for heat. If it's too hot, it regulates and brings it down. In the same way, your mood does not just describe your condition, it regulates your entire existence. When your mood is low, everything in your life begins to operate on a low frequency. Your thinking becomes small, your energy shrinks, your creativity slows down, and your ability to solve problems weakens. But when your mood is lifted, you function at a completely different level. Your ideas expand, your words carry weight, and your presence itself becomes magnetic. The reason this is so powerful is that many people misunderstand what truly drives success. Most people believe success is determined by knowledge, talent, connections, or luck. And yes, those things matter. But if your mood is off, none of them will serve you. A talented person in a negative mood will misuse their gift. A person with connections but carrying a sour attitude will repel opportunities. Even when luck comes, a discouraged person won't recognize it or act on it. Your mood is the hidden switch that decides whether the resources you already have can actually work for you. Picture someone walking into a meeting with a sour mood. They may be intelligent, they may have the right proposal, but their atmosphere pushes people away. Now picture someone walking into the same meeting with the same proposal, but their mood is confident, joyful, and full of expectation. People will lean into that atmosphere. They will sense the energy. They will want to be part of it. That is the thermostat principle. Your mood sets the climate for everything around you. What most of us don't realize is that our lives often rise or fall not because of external challenges, but because of the atmosphere we set internally. If you wake up in a defeated mood, your entire day will obey it. Your conversations will sound defeated. Your body language will look defeated. Your opportunities will shrink to match the mood you have chosen. But if you wake up with a victorious mood, even if circumstances are against you, you start seeing angles and opportunities others can't see. That is why two people can face the same challenge, but one gives up while the other rises higher. The difference is not always skill or resources, it is mood. This is why it's dangerous to allow moods to be dictated by circumstances. If you only feel good when life is good, you'll live like a roller coaster. Up today, down tomorrow, stable one week, unstable the next. But the person who understands that their mood is a thermostat learns to control it, to set it deliberately, and to maintain it consistently. They refuse to let temporary events set their permanent atmosphere. They understand that the thermostat does not take orders from the room. The room takes orders from the thermostat. In other words, your circumstances should not dictate your mood. Your mood should dictate how you handle your circumstances. Your success, then, is less about what happens to you and more about the atmosphere you carry with you. When your thermostat is set high, when you choose to live in faith, optimism, and determination, you begin to regulate your life upwards. Your energy rises to match your expectations. People are drawn to your presence. Opportunities open because your atmosphere says you are ready. But if you allow your thermostat to stay low, if you settle in moods of bitterness, defeat, or doubt, you will unknowingly regulate your entire life downwards. So, never underestimate the power of your mood. It is not just a reflection of how you feel, it is the invisible hand steering how you function. If you want to rise higher, lift your mood. If you want to attract more, protect your atmosphere. Success is not first a matter of talent, luck, or even opportunity. It is a matter of the thermostat you set inside your own life. Your mood has the incredible power to shape the lens through which you see life. Every single day, you don't see the world as it really is, you see it as you are. Your perspective is not always defined by facts, but by the mood you carry when you encounter those facts. When your mood is high, Challenges look like opportunities, setbacks feel like lessons, and obstacles appear as stepping stones. But when your mood is low, even the smallest inconvenience can feel like a mountain, and the smallest criticism can feel like a crushing rejection. It's not the size of the problem that changes, it's the size of your mood. Think about the times when you felt optimistic and alive. In those moments, ideas flowed freely. You found energy to try new things, and solutions came almost effortlessly. That is because a positive mood expands your perspective. It widens the horizon of your imagination and makes you capable of seeing opportunities that others overlook. A positive mood doesn't just make you feel good, it makes you see more. On the other hand, when you carry a negative mood, your vision narrows. You become short-sighted. You only see what's wrong, what's missing, what could fail. A negative mood doesn't just make you feel bad, it makes you see less. This is why two people can walk into the exact same situation and walk out with completely different conclusions. One sees potential, the other sees disaster. One sees a door opening, the other sees a wall. The difference is not in the circumstance, it is in the mood that filters their perspective. Your mood becomes the glasses you wear, coloring everything you experience. If the glasses are tinted with doubt, fear, or frustration, the whole world will appear darker than it really is. But if the glasses are tinted with hope, gratitude, and faith, the same world will appear brighter, more inviting, and full of possibilities. Opportunities do not always appear in obvious ways. Sometimes they show up disguised as problems, wrapped in challenges, or hidden in places that require effort to uncover. If your mood is negative, you will not have the patience or the vision to look beyond the surface. You will say, "This is too hard," and walk away. But if your mood is positive, you will say, "There must be a way." And in that mindset, you'll discover a door others could not see. That is why mood is so critical. It doesn't just affect how you feel, it determines how far you can see. Perspective is the foundation of decision making. If your perspective is small, your decisions will be small. If your perspective is narrow, your decisions will be limited. But if your perspective is wide and hopeful, your decisions will reflect courage, creativity, and vision. That is why successful people are not simply the most talented or the most educated. They are often the ones who have trained themselves to keep their moods elevated, because they understand that mood creates perspective, and perspective directs destiny. Imagine a pilot flying through a storm. If the mood of fear takes over, the storm looks fatal. The pilot may panic and make decisions that could bring disaster. But if the mood is calm and focused, the pilot interprets the same storm as something that can be navigated, endured, and even conquered. The storm hasn't changed, but the perspective has, and that perspective is dictated by mood. The truth is, you cannot control everything that happens in life, but you can control the lens through which you interpret it. And that lens is shaped by the atmosphere you carry inside. If you want to expand your life, expand your mood. If you want to see further, choose to rise above discouragement and embrace positivity. Your mood is not just an emotion, it is the architect of your perspective. And your perspective decides whether you live a life of limitation or a life of endless possibility. Your life today is the sum of the decisions you made yesterday, and your tomorrow will be shaped by the decisions you make today. But here is the hidden truth: most of your decisions are not shaped by logic alone, they are shaped by your mood. It is your mood that often tips the scale when you stand between yes and no, between quitting and continuing, between boldness and hesitation. This is why it is dangerous to allow moods of anger, fear, or discouragement to dominate you, because they will always lead you into decisions that sabotage your future. Think about a time you made a decision while angry. In that moment, you didn't care about the long-term consequences. You just wanted relief in the present. You said words you didn't mean, you made commitments you couldn't keep, or you burned bridges you actually needed. Anger creates tunnel vision. It makes you focus on the pain of the moment, not the wisdom of the future. That one decision, born from a temporary mood, can cost you years of progress. Success is often not destroyed by enemies. It is destroyed by bad decisions born from bad moods. Now consider fear. When fear dictates your mood, you will always choose the safer option, the smaller option, the less threatening option. Fear convinces you to retreat when you should advance, to hesitate when you should act, to silence yourself when you should speak. The tragedy is that many people are not living the life they were created for, not because they lacked ability, but because they allowed fear to make their decisions. Fear is a poor advisor. It whispers only of risk, never of reward. It magnifies what could go wrong and blinds you to what could go right. When fear shapes your mood, your decisions shrink to match it, and small decisions lead to small lives. Discouragement is just as dangerous. When your mood is low, when your energy is drained, you are tempted to give up too soon. Discouragement tells you that the effort isn't worth it, that nothing is changing, that progress is too slow. But here is the irony. Most people give up not at the beginning of the race, but near the end, when success was closer than they realized. A mood of discouragement blinds you to how close you are to a breakthrough. If you let that mood dictate your decisions, you will walk away from the very thing you prayed for, worked for, and dreamed of. On the other hand, a positive mood creates courage. When you are filled with optimism, you make bold decisions. You choose to step forward even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. You speak up even when your voice shakes. You try again even after failure. A hopeful mood expands your decision-making ability because it reminds you that the future is still full of possibilities. Success is not guaranteed to the smartest or the most skilled. It is reserved for those who choose to keep making the right decisions, even when emotions fight against them. This is why you must be careful about the mood you allow to control your life. Every decision you make is a seed, and seeds always multiply. A decision made in anger multiplies destruction. A decision made in fear multiplies regret. A decision made in discouragement multiplies wasted potential. But a decision made in hope multiplies opportunities. A decision made in confidence multiplies growth. And a decision made in love multiplies influence. Your destiny is never a single leap. It is a series of steps. And every step is shaped by the mood you choose to walk in. So never forget, moods may be temporary, but the decisions you make under their influence can last a lifetime. Guard your mood, because your mood guards your choices, and your choices guard your destiny. If you want to create a successful life, discipline yourself not only in action, but in atmosphere. When you master your mood, you master your decisions. And when you master your decisions, you master your future. One of the greatest secrets of success is consistency. But here is the challenge: you cannot achieve consistency in your results if you do not first achieve consistency in your mood. Too many people live on an emotional roller coaster. They are excited today, discouraged tomorrow. Focused one week, distracted the next. Fired up in January, but burned out by March. Their performance is unstable because their mood is unstable. If your mood is the atmosphere you live in, then the stability of that atmosphere will determine how steadily you can build your life. Think about an athlete in training. It's not enough to practice hard one day and then skip the next 3 days because you don't feel like it. The body doesn't grow strong on scattered effort. It grows through consistent repetition. The same is true in every area of life. Success is rarely built in moments of inspiration. It is built in the discipline of routine. And the enemy of routine is an ungoverned mood. If you only act when you feel good, you will never create lasting results. But when you learn to master your mood and discipline your emotions, you create the consistency that separates amateurs from champions. Many people misunderstand discipline. They think discipline means suppressing emotions or pretending not to feel them. That's not it. Discipline simply means you refuse to let emotions dictate your actions. You still feel fear, but you act with courage. You still feel tired, but you keep moving. You still feel discouraged, but you continue to build. Discipline is the ability to be consistent even when moods fluctuate. And when your mood finds stability, your performance follows suit. Consider the farmer who plants seeds. He doesn't only sow when the weather feels good or when he is in a good mood. He sows consistently, day after day, season after season, because he knows that consistency of action brings harvest regardless of passing emotions. In the same way, your harvest in life depends on the seeds you plant daily. If you allow your mood to swing you back and forth, you will never plant consistently enough to see results. But if you learn to stabilize your inner atmosphere, You will continue sowing and building until the harvest arrives. The truth is, the world rewards consistency more than bursts of talent. Many talented people never succeed because their moods make them unreliable. They are brilliant when inspired but disappear when discouraged. They shine brightly for a short time but burn out because they lack stability. Meanwhile, those who discipline their moods, who show up every day with steady energy, who keep doing the small things with faithfulness, they rise slowly but surely until their results cannot be denied. Consistency is the bridge between potential and success, and that bridge is built by mastering your mood. This is why you must stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are fragile. Some days you will wake up motivated, and some days you won't. But discipline is stronger than motivation. Discipline says, even when I don't feel like it, I will still do it. And when you do it long enough, results come. When results come, your mood begins to lift. When your mood lifts, you find new energy, and the cycle continues upward. That is how consistency of mood creates consistency of performance. It becomes a self-reinforcing cycle of growth. If you want lasting success, don't aim for perfection, aim for consistency. And if you want consistency, discipline your mood. Refuse to be governed by passing feelings. Choose to stabilize your atmosphere with faith, focus, and determination. Because in the end, results don't belong to those who act occasionally. They belong to those who act consistently. And consistency is not built on talent or luck. It is built on the mastery of your mood. Your mood is never private. Even if you think you are keeping it to yourself, it leaks into the atmosphere around you and begins to influence the people in your environment. Human beings are emotional mirrors. We reflect what we are exposed to. If someone enters a room with joy, hope, and enthusiasm, the room begins to rise with that same energy. If someone walks in with bitterness, anger, or despair, the entire atmosphere begins to sink. This is why leaders and achievers must protect their energy, because their mood doesn't stay with them. It multiplies in others. Think about the people who inspire you most. Very often, it is not simply what they said, but the energy they carried that you remember. Their words might have been ordinary, but their mood made the words extraordinary. A leader who speaks with passion ignites passion in others. A teacher who teaches with joy makes students hungry to learn. A parent who nurtures with calmness creates peace in the household. The reverse is also true. A boss who leads with fear spreads anxiety through the entire team. A parent who carries constant frustration creates a home filled with tension. Your mood is contagious. It spreads faster than words and often leaves a deeper impact. This is why those who aspire to lead or to achieve anything significant in life must learn to guard their inner atmosphere. If your mood is unstable, those you influence will feel that instability. If your mood is consistently dark, people will begin to avoid your presence because no one wants to live under a cloud. But if your mood radiates confidence, hope, and positivity, you will draw people to you naturally. People are not just attracted to knowledge or skill. They are drawn to the energy that lifts them higher. Leadership is not just about giving instructions. It is about setting the atmosphere. When you walk into a room, you bring more than your body, you bring your mood. That mood will either build or break the energy of the group. If you want to be an achiever, if you want to lead, then understand this principle: you cannot afford to treat your mood casually. Because the moment you influence others, your mood becomes a multiplier. It will either multiply strength or multiply weakness, multiply faith or multiply fear. Imagine a team about to face a challenge. If the leader walks in with doubt, the whole team will shrink back. But if the leader walks in with determination and expectation, even a fearful team will rise to the occasion. The difference is not in the challenge itself, but in the mood that framed it. Achievers know this. They understand that their mood can either breathe life into others or drain it out of them. That is why they take responsibility for their atmosphere. They choose to discipline themselves, not only for their own success, but for the sake of those who are following them. This is also true in families, friendships, and communities. Your mood shapes how people experience you. If you carry joy, others feel joy when they are near you. If you carry peace, others feel safe with you. But if you carry bitterness, people leave your presence heavier than when they came. The way you manage your mood is not just a private matter. It is a service to the people around you. Protecting your atmosphere is a form of leadership because you are setting the tone for how others live, work, and believe. So never underestimate the influence of your mood. You are not just carrying it for yourself, you are multiplying it in others. Leaders and achievers understand this and choose to guard their energy carefully. Because when you manage your mood well, you don't just change your life, you change the lives of everyone who encounters you. And that is the true power of influence. Opportunities are not only attracted by skill, qualifications, or connections, they are attracted by the atmosphere you carry. Your mood is like a magnet. When you radiate confidence, peace, and hope, you draw people toward you. When you radiate negativity, fear, or doubt, you push people away, often without even realizing it. Success is not only about being in the right place at the right time, it is about carrying the right mood so that when the opportunity shows up, it recognizes you as ready. Think about the people you enjoy being around. Most likely, they are people who make you feel better when you are with them. Their mood lifts your spirit, their presence gives you energy, and their outlook makes challenges seem smaller. That kind of mood is magnetic. It attracts friendships, partnerships, and open doors. On the other hand, you've probably also been around people whose constant negativity drains you. Even if they are talented, you hesitate to involve them in opportunities because their atmosphere makes everything harder than it has to be. That is the principle at work. Your mood either opens doors or silently closes them. People are drawn to hope. They are drawn to those who see possibilities, who speak with expectation, who carry themselves with confidence. When you walk into a room with an uplifted mood, you signal to others that you are someone who can handle responsibility, someone who can be trusted, someone who can turn challenges into victories. And because of that, people begin to entrust you with opportunities. This is why many doors in life are not opened by resumes, but by energy. People may forget what you said, but they will never forget how they felt when you walked into the room. Opportunities also recognize confidence. Confidence is not arrogance. It is the quiet assurance that you are prepared, that you believe in yourself, and that you are ready for what is ahead. When your mood carries confidence, people feel safer trusting you with bigger roles and larger responsibilities. But when your mood is clouded with doubt, even if you are skilled, people hesitate. Doubt repels opportunities because it communicates unreadiness. Confidence attracts opportunities because it communicates readiness. This principle even applies to unseen doors. Life has a way of opening paths to those who walk with expectation. When your mood is hopeful, you begin to see chances where others see dead ends. You take steps of faith that others are too discouraged to take. And in those steps, doors begin to appear that were invisible to the fearful. Opportunity rarely knocks on the door of the discouraged. It knocks on the door of those who keep their mood alive with vision, gratitude, and determination. Your mood is a silent advertisement for your future. Every day, without saying a word, your atmosphere is telling the world whether you are ready for more or not. When you carry a mood of defeat, life assumes you are not ready. But when you carry a mood of confidence and hope, life sends you more than you imagined. That is why you cannot afford to let circumstances dictate your atmosphere. If you only feel positive when things are easy, you will repel opportunities in hard seasons. But if you maintain a mood of confidence in every season, opportunities will find you even in the darkest times. So protect your mood, because it is more than just a feeling. It is a signal to the world. It is either inviting or rejecting the opportunities that could change your life. People open doors to those who lift them higher, not to those who bring them lower. If you want new doors to open, if you want people to trust you with greater chances, then discipline yourself to carry a mood of hope and confidence. Because opportunities don't just come to those who wait, they come to those whose atmosphere says, "I am ready." Every person is searching for the keys to success. Some believe it lies in being born into the right family. Others believe it's about education, wealth, or connections. And while these factors can give advantages, history is full of people who had none of them yet rose to greatness. What set them apart was not their circumstances, but their ability to master themselves. And the greatest part of self-mastery is mood. Managing your mood is managing your destiny, because your future is not primarily determined by what happens to you. It is determined by the atmosphere you carry inside you as you respond to what happens. Circumstances are unpredictable. You cannot control every event in life. There will be storms, disappointments, losses, and setbacks. If your destiny depended only on smooth circumstances, no one would succeed. But success does not come to those with perfect conditions. It comes to those with the right inner condition. The mood you choose daily becomes the compass that directs how you navigate life. When storms come, a positive mood keeps you steady, keeps you thinking clearly, keeps you believing in possibilities. A negative mood in the same storm leads to panic, poor decisions, and giving up. The storm is the same, but the outcomes are completely different. Your destiny is too valuable to be left at the mercy of moods that rise and fall with circumstances. If you let bad news sink you into despair, or criticism push you into anger, or failure trap you in discouragement, then your destiny becomes a hostage to your environment. But if you learn to manage your mood, to choose peace over panic, hope over despair, and faith over fear, then you take control of your future. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the master of your response. And the truth is, your response always carries more power than the event itself. Think about how leaders, innovators, and world changers have shaped history. They faced the same challenges others did, sometimes even worse. Yet they refused to let their mood collapse under pressure. They maintained vision when others lost sight. They carried hope when others gave up. And because their inner atmosphere was steady, their destiny unfolded differently. This is the pattern of greatness. It is not circumstances that create destiny. It is the mood with which you meet those circumstances. Managing mood is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about setting your inner thermostat in such a way that no matter what happens, you remain stable and focused. You cannot stop storms from coming, but you can decide whether your atmosphere will remain calm or chaotic. That choice shapes your performance, your relationships, your opportunities, and ultimately, your destiny. The person who manages their mood creates a consistent path forward. Even when setbacks come, they recover quickly. Even when things fall apart, they refuse to fall apart internally. That resilience becomes the force that propels them beyond others who may have had greater resources but weaker moods. Life will always test your atmosphere. Those who manage it well keep moving forward, while those who don't get trapped where they are. So, if you want to manage your destiny, begin by managing your mood. Guard your inner climate more fiercely than your outer possessions. Refuse to give the keys of your future to the hands of temporary emotions. Because in the end, your life will not be shaped primarily by what happens to you, but by the mood you carry as you walk through it. Success is not first about circumstances. It is about atmosphere. Master your mood and you master your destiny. One of the greatest lies people believe is that mood is something that simply happens to them, like the weather. They wake up, check how they feel, and then let that feeling dictate the rest of their day. But the truth is, mood is not a permanent state. It is a daily choice. Every morning you are given a decision. Will I choose to carry a mood that lifts me, or a mood that limits me? Your answer to that question determines not only how your day unfolds, but how your future is shaped. Think about it. You cannot control every thought that crosses your mind, nor every event that comes your way. But you can choose what you dwell on, and what you dwell on shapes your mood. If you dwell on your fears, your mood will collapse into anxiety. If you dwell on your failures, your mood will fall into discouragement. But if you dwell on gratitude, your mood will rise. If you dwell on possibilities, your mood will shift toward hope. That is why mood is not an accident. It is the fruit of your focus. The danger comes when people treat moods as permanent realities instead of passing states. They say, "This is just how I feel. This is just who I am." And with those words, they chain themselves to emotions that were meant to be temporary. Anger, sadness, fear. These may visit you, but they were never meant to live with you. When you accept them as permanent, you hand them the keys to your future. But when you recognize that mood is a choice, you take the keys back into your own hands. Your future does not ask if you feel like showing up. It demands that you show up anyway. Discipline in mood is the key that makes this possible. Some days you will wake up inspired. Other days you will wake up heavy. Some days you will feel ready to conquer the world. Other days you will feel like hiding from it. But if you have learned the discipline of choosing your mood, you rise above those fluctuations. You set your inner thermostat instead of waiting for the outer climate to change. And that consistency is what creates progress. Consider the people who achieve lasting success. They are not people who always felt good. They are people who refused to surrender to moods that worked against them. They learned that mastery of the future begins with mastery of the present moment. And mastery of the present moment begins with mastery of mood. Because if you can choose the right atmosphere today, you can make the right decisions today. If you make the right decisions today, you step one day closer to the future you desire. Your mood will always try to convince you it is permanent. When you are discouraged, it feels like you will always be discouraged. When you are afraid, it feels like you will always be afraid. But feelings are deceptive. They come and go like clouds in the sky. The question is not whether clouds appear, but whether you let them block the sun of your purpose. If you remember that your mood is a choice, you will refuse to let temporary clouds create permanent darkness. Every day, life hands you a brush and asks you to paint the atmosphere of your own soul. You can paint it with dull, dark colors of fear and doubt, or with bright, bold colors of hope and courage. Whatever you choose becomes the backdrop against which your entire life is written. Master that choice, and you master your future. Because success is not reserved for those who never feel weak. It is reserved for those who choose strength even in weakness, who choose hope even in struggle, who choose joy even in sorrow. So never forget your mood is not a sentence, it is a decision. And when you learn to decide it daily, no matter what, you take hold of your future with both hands. Master your mood and you master your destiny.